Oh, folks, and welcome back to Kenshi. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need it louder because the quiet ones are hard to detect. When I'm going through this, maybe I should do a recording to show you what I have to bloody well do. God, I wish I didn't have to do this. When I'm listening to recording, I listen to the countdown and I try and find where I hit the key, and then I let it play from there. I suppose, given that I'm not really commenting much on the game, I'm just treating this as almost like a podcast. It doesn't really matter even if it's playing, but I'm making an effort here. I'm sorry. I have to do. Actually, this counter is wrong. I dragged the remaining files ahead a bit to, I don't know, just separate it from what I had done, and I haven't dragged them back. They're still in order and together, that's what matters, but they aren't with the bulk of the files. I was going to say 5 hours 44, but that's off by a little bit. Not too much, that's the same. Oh, there was a point I'd started talking about yesterday, but I never finished. Well, I say yesterday, it's like a week ago. I was thinking about it on and off. Like, oh, I never finished that point. I never finished that point. Now I don't remember what the fuck it was. If you're curious, I was describing something in a story, a game story, a novel story, maybe a historical thing, for all I know. It would be in the previous episode, I think, on depending on how I slice these up. It may be this episode. It'll probably be previous episode. Go back to that episode and leave it in the comments with the timestamp. If you want to know. I'll go have a listen to it and see if I remember. If I do, I'll tell you. But if I don't, I won't. I'll just apologize. Maybe I should apologize in advance. I'm sorry. I don't remember it now, and I may not remember it in the future. Also, I had no idea what was coming up the fucking stairs there. It was just like, oh god, giant spider. But no, it's just my skeleton wearing a skeleton spider as a backpack. Ooh. Not sure that's a mecha spider as a backpack. I'm not really sure if that's an improvement. According to this, I've over 2 hours left to record. Kill me. So what am I doing right now? I'm trying to get another base set up. I think that's a research bench, tier 2 one, tier 3 one. I know it requires electricity, I think. The hub is pretty free with its power. You can, just for having a building there, you get to tap into their power grid. It would be funny if you could reach off the power, run a cable somewhere else. I was watching a Kenshi vid the other day. Reggie, I think it was. He was doing a vid where he assassinates Reggie. I can't remember. Assassinates all the different leaders in Kenshi and a few other people that annoy him. And when it came to assassinating one of the Holy Nation people, he just sets up a harpoon gun right in front of the dude. No one notices. No one cares. It was probably modded in because he wanted to assassinate one guy, but he had so many guards he wouldn't have succeeded. So he was waiting outside, and He jokes that he makes some joke that the doctors had healed his illness, so he's gonna go for strolls again. And you just see the Discord thing of him messaging a guy saying like, "Hey, could you make a mod that so this guy will patrol the town?" Seriously, the videos are funny. I think the guy did another vid in Kenshi where he's playing as a doctor with negative 100 medical skill. He does medicine on you, you immediately start bleeding to death. Oh. The vids are funny. Broke my ass laughing at the trying to care for 20 alcoholic babies that explode upon death. And the trauma savant. Oh, beautiful. The last one was a RimWorld video. I do wonder how Kenshi 2 is going. Am I still in Kenshi? I may have left the Discord. I'm in a lot of Discords, and I have to keep leaving them to find out. Oh, here it is. I'm in a lot of Discords, but I have to keep leaving Discords. Excuse me. To join other ones, because it's just like some devs don't, let's say, like, put their video policy on their webpage. They don't put it on their Twitter. They don't answer emails. They don't answer tweets. You have to check their Discord or wherever to find out, oh yeah, they do Let's Plays. And in one case, I checked the devs Discord and found out, yeah, no, they don't want my Let's Play. I was talking about this in other vids. The Cave of Quad devs, they banned the use of Pepe the Frog in their Discord, claiming it was a hate symbol. It's a fucking frog. Like, seriously. No update that I'm seeing here on Kenshi 2. Yeah, the last update about Kenshi 2 on the Discord was 2021. As much as I would like to advertise my Kenshi vid on the Discord, I feel after these few videos, I can't really do so. Say Ovi. Part of me feels that I should go and, redo these, this post commentary, but I'm sorry. It's nearly 6 hours of footage I have to go through and sit down and do nothing. Can I listen to music? Not really. It'll probably bleed into my mic. Can I read something? No. I have to actually commentate. No, says the man in Washington. This is kind of murder, So you're getting what you're getting. Get what you get. So, yeah. Kenshi do. Yeah, there's no update on it. Like I said, the last update they had was 2021. They've been quiet since, apparently. Wonder how long it's gonna take. I was kind of skimming there. I think someone said the first game took 10 years, but this game was made by like one person till the nearly the end. Then they brought on additional people as the game started getting more attention. I wonder. Apparently, the team is still very small. Um, not so many people can count it on one or two hands. So anywhere between 5 to 10 people. So either five's the cap or ten's the cap. Let's put it that way. I wonder how long it's gonna take. As far as I know, I think they're building it from the ground up. But still, there's many times the amount of people they had to begin with. So somehow I doubt it's gonna take to 10 years. But maybe years and years off yet. I do hope they fix various quality of life concerns, you know? Like, yeah, you may be allies with a faction, but still have your people respect ownership. You know, not wander into buildings that are illegal for them to enter, like they do here. Stuff like this, because I want to become, like, allies with a faction, but if I become allies with a faction, my characters then start stuffing people into beds that they don't own, and then make me enemies with that faction, because then they start beating the shit out of the owner when the owner tries to force them out. So, here, one sec. I'm just muting myself. It's easier than pausing and stopping or whatever. I kind of like the music, how like it's atmospheric. It's a minimalistic approach to music, but at the same time, I kind of wish it was more constant because so often you just don't end up hearing any. I would like a more constant approach, but at the same time, the minimalistic approach kind of fits the game. You know, it kind of works. So I suppose they shouldn't change anything. How are you folks doing? Tell me in the comments below. How are you? Hope you're doing well. And I do apologize for how surly I've been in these vids, but sitting here for a total of 5 hours, nearly 6, and having to not play and not do anything, just watch footage you feel really disassociated from. It's really fucking boring. When I did this for Cyberpunk, it was one thing, because I had past me to bounce off of stuff obviously happening on screen. Here, it's just, I know, it's just like, yeah. There's stuff going on, but it's just pixels moving on the screen to me, really. Because it's just like, I don't get the underlying logic of what I'm doing half the time. Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to work the fields here. But other times, you know, then I start flicking through characters and I have no idea what I'm doing. It's probably checking jobs or something. That's my guess, but I don't know. I know, I just feel really disassociated from it. It just feels like it's just something that's happening over there and that's it. Actually, one thing I do remember from the last set, I was very horny about that Kuga anime. I still haven't read the manga. I've been meaning to get around to it, but Nothing. Actually, it's funny. I'm reaching for the manga here because when I was recording something recently, some modded RimWorld, I started reaching for Fist of the North Star there because of how long the load screens were. Sort of reading the first volume of it. Like literally while I was recording, I was just that bored. I was just like, no, fuck it. You can stay on. I'm not pausing. You can listen. Part of the issue was that I couldn't pause and stuff because the game would freeze. Actually, if I put the book away, my eyes just immediately started hurting. For people in the audience here, raise your hands, give a comment. Who here has watched Kamen Rider? Kamen Rider? Yeah, whatever. Kamen Rider. Who here has actually watched any of that? Any series? Any anime? Just out of curiosity. Like any series, any movie, anything. Read manga, I think there's a few games of it floating about. If you've given a look at any of those count too. Just curious to see other, fans. I've talked about it before, but it's something to talk about now that's not particularly surly, so I'll say it here. If you don't know what Kamen Rider is, it's Kamen, 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 Rider, Rider. It's a tokusatsu series, starting in the early 70s. The creator was Shinomori. Shinomori? I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure I ever heard anyone else say it. But he made a lot of tokusatsu series. According to internet legend, the idea of, like, say, the Megazord from Power Rangers? Yeah, that stems from one of his works. He didn't work on Power Rangers. Apparently Power Rangers is derivative of Super Sentai. I heard claims that they, like, used footage from Super Sentai, the Japanese tokusatsu series, but then put other footage to it. Or something. It doesn't sound right. I'm not sure. It feels like someone's pulling my leg. But anyway, like the idea of the mech in it apparently came from one of Ishinomori's works. He did a Spider-Man tokusatsu, and he gave Spider-Man a mech, and then the idea was there, so others started doing it too. I would recommend watching that. Good show. I think there's no official way to watch it. I think the literally only option is the archive website. Archive.org. I think it's .org. But yeah, they have it there. I don't think there's any actual official way to watch it. No recent, like, release or anything like that. If there was any, like, physical release of it, you're probably looking at, like, a Japanese VHS tape. It came out in the late 70s. But yeah, anyway, Kamen Rider. Tokusatsu series. If you've seen, like, Power Rangers, you got the idea of it. Though a lot of writers are solo writers. They may have a support cast. To get my first proper writer was Kuga. He had a support cast. He worked alongside a police police detective. There's one funny scene in it. Kuga gets Godai. That's the name of the character. Kuga's the name of, like, his transformed self, but because it's a mantle he's taken up. But the guy himself is called Godai. He works with this police detective, and he's but in this one episode, he gets into the car with the cop, and he's asking. He says the detective's name, and he's like, "Could I ask for your help, waiter?" And the detective's like, "Sure, but as a policeman, I'm limited in what help I can provide." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Could I buy your gun?" Of course, sure. It's just like, yeah, you know, as a police officer, I can't provide much help, but ask. Can I borrow your gun? Of course. The reason he wanted his gun is one of his transformations requires him to have a ranged weapon. The gun then transforms from a gun into like a laser crossbow. More palatable, I guess, as merchandising. But, yeah. Or, to censors or whoever. But then again, common writers never really seem to care much about the censors. They're back in Common Writer X, they had one episode where the Shocker organization of the week of the season was mind controlling kids, giving them a bat towel and saying, "Oh, with this special bat towel, you can fly." And the kids would then, hypnotized, fling themselves off buildings, splat off the ground, and die. You get to see if you hit the ground and just be like, dead. Obviously, it's budget, 70s show. It's not particularly gory and terrible, but this is a show aimed at young kids, the same age of kids that are dying there. So like 8 to 10-year-olds at most. They're using their imaginations to fill in the gaps. They'll bring that to life. They don't need it to be hyper realistic. Their imaginations will do it for them, and they can do that. Like, watching the shows I've seen as a kid, you never see that kind of thing over here. It's insane. Certainly not in a live action show. I suppose there's some cartoons that handle pretty dark, fucked up topics, but none of the live action shows I would have seen as a kid would have had something like that. People died tons in that show. And like in Kuga, by the end of it, most of them are off screen, but 3,000 people die because of the bad guys. Kuga isn't able to save everyone. But, Kuga, anyway, has a support crew. His support crew takes form of like that police detective. He does frequently try and help them fight the enemies, but their equipment just doesn't work on them. Beyond the detective and other cops that Godai ends up having some connection to. There was actually one funny scene where the cops try to waylay one of the goons, and the guy just barrels on through and leaves. One of the cops comes along right as Godai is driving off, and like the main cop guy is working on something elsewhere, so he's unable to help. So one of his cop friends is helping out instead, and he's proudly looking off as Godai rides off with his gun this time, and the other guy, the third cop of the main cop guys, is just like, "What's going on?" Cops are just perfectly happy just loaning their gun out to the dude. But to be fair, they all think very highly of Godai. The dude's been putting his ass on the line for ages. He's actually saved that guy's life at one point, when that guy thought he was the enemy, even. Because the Grungy turned up and started killing people, suddenly some other freak turned up and fighting the Grungy. They aren't sure, like, is it just a disagreement between the two? Is he going to turn on us next? They're cagey, but Godai quickly shows that, no, I'm on your side by, beating the shit out of Grungy and saving their lives. The Grungy is what his goons of the week are called. But yeah, beyond the detective, the main detective and the other guys that turn up every so often, part of Kuga's support crew is... Well, actually, there's some, tech staff. but with the police. But he has this guy he refers to as uncle, I think. I'm not sure his actual connection though. He runs a cafe, and his sister. And so like they don't really get tied in with the main like combat of the thing, but they are. You get to see him in a different, in like in a different role, like family life, and it's kind of part of the heart of it. Well, not heart of it, but I guess it's showing kind of who he's personally fighting for. Like he's fighting to preserve everyone's smile, but these are his friends and family. Obviously, they're gonna rate highly. But Kuga himself is just like a Godai. Godai. I keep calling Kuga because it's. I feel I'm saying that more. I'm more likely to saying that right than Godai. Godai, as far as I remember. He's a big fucking puppy. He's like a puppy turned into a human. He's full of love and he's just excitable, Makes this one scene later on really great when he bares his teeth. One of the goons. Oh, this is actually what I was telling you before, but never finished. This is actually what it was. So one of the goons, like the big bad, does what he does because it's fun. He sacrifices everyone else's smile for his own enjoyment, while Godai will sacrifice his own smile for the smile for everyone else's. If everyone else is happy, he's fine being the one person sad. A very self-sacrificing kind of hero. It goes even beyond that, but we'll go with that. Like, he goes into these fights knowing he can die, but he has to do it to preserve everyone else's happiness. But, like, he travels the world, he goes on these adventures to try and bring a bit of happiness to people as he goes. He's like being the littlest hobo. Each episode closed off with him asleep at the park with his head on his back. Like, littlest hobo. And, yeah, he just wants to make everyone happy. I've said it before, but with a lot of the riders, you want to fight alongside them, cheering them on, or, fighting the goons alongside them. With Godai, you kind of want to do that, but you kind of want to rush ahead of him, find the Grungy, and just trounce them yourself, make them bite the curb and just start stomping. Like, how dare you take his smile, you fuck. Make them regret waking up. He's just that precious, He's precious, but yeah, there's one of the every episode is a different Grungy they go up against. Like there's this one Minotaur guy, Rhino guy. There's another one that would spit acid. Another one that was like a jellyfish thing. She would kill people in pools, and you just see bodies floating in the water. Men, women, children, people died. But while they all took enjoyment in killing, some were cleaner than others, People just died and that was the end of it. One guy would snipe them in the heart and they would just be walking along, dead. It was a clean kill. But there was one later on, and it was towards the latter end of the series. And this guy, as much as the big bad of it was the anti-Kuga, of the mob of the weak variants, he was the anti-Kuga. I thought I saw a pulse on the screen there. It's like I posted a YouTube vid. I think I just missaw something. But I had my glasses off because my eyes were hurting. So everything's kind of out of focus. I wasn't paying full attention there. But anyway, the enemy of the week. Obviously, this is going to be a little spoilery, so if you don't want to hear it, mute me for like a few minutes, and come back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Da-da! Spoilers. So anyway, this enemy was sadistic about his kills, and he took pleasure in tormenting people on like a personal level. So he was as much anti-Kuga as the big bad was of the like general mob. To be honest, the big bad of it got such little screen time. He just felt like another monster of the week. There was another one of his lieutenants that was in every episode, or in most episodes, that came off as she was believed to be the big bad for ages. She came off as more the big bad because she had just had more screen time. It was clear she wasn't the big bad because what we'd seen before was male and she was female. But she had more screen presence and like whatnot. The other guy just came in was at the end as like, I'm the guy from the first episode. It's been 50. Heya. He didn't have much real connection with the audience. He felt like just another monster a week to a point. Still a great showdown though. Still a great showdown. It was the least flashiest of them all, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight. But anyway, that's another point entirely. The there was the fight with the other dude. I don't remember what he was, any name for him or anything. But the guy had these spines that he would throw at people. And it would be a glancing hit. It wouldn't seem to do much damage at all. 3 days later, though, metal that was previously undetectable by modern medical science would suddenly appear inside their brains. They'll start spasming, twitching out, and then die in terrible agony. And he was attacking the students of a particular high school and a high school year. Only these. The Grungi are playing a game with the Linto, as they refer to humans as. It's too easy for them to kill humans, so they play a game. They have to fight and kill by these particular rules. They can only kill in particular ways, against particular targets in particular areas. Like that one that was killing in swimming pools could only kill in bodies of water that have their names match up, follow a musical scale. It's like ridiculously restrictive. Another could only kill people in vehicles that matched a particular color. She also included elevators as a type of vehicle. But anyway, this guy, so yeah, he was restricted to killing the students of a particular high school year. In this particular school. He killed most of the class. They weren't sure, like, it takes the cops a while to figure out, the connections, and then to track the Grungi down. Because the guy wasn't being audacious in his attacks, he was just throwing darts and then just leaving. And then the person would die after 3 days. And as the bodies started mounting, people's terror starts going up. And he's enjoying himself. But some people start suiciding out. Which ruins his game. They aren't dying to him, they're dying to themselves. So he has to attack the exchange student that just joined the class. But the family fled into a cabin in the woods. Father has a gun. They're sitting there waiting for something to happen. And the father sees the Grungi outside. And then he blinks and the Grungi's at the other window. Then he's at the window near him. The father, with the gun, fires. The Grungi's now upstairs. The family, the other two, the son and mother, had fled upstairs. He fires at him, and it seems like he falls. He leans out the window, looks to his left, looks to his right. The Grungi's now on his left. He's a fucking slasher monster. He grabs the father and takes him out of the fight. I don't think the guy's dead, but he's out of the fight and out of the episode. He then tries to attack the son and mother. They've fled outside. The mother gets in the way, and again, struck down and taken out of the episode. Whether she's dead or not is another thing. But before he can attack the sun, Kuga gets there. Kuga loses the fight. It always goes like Kuga tries to fight them, but either he's defeated or they leave, but aren't defeated. Like they leave of their own accord, or he's struck down and they just fuck off. Sometimes he escapes. The first fight is always it's just setting the stage. They never die in the first fight, except this one guy where it feels like he came in halfway through the episode, and then the rest of the episode about something else. It was kind of weird. It was the only guy they did it for. But anyway, the guy starts hunting them for the exchange student. He leads the police. They take the student into custody to protect him. The guy is in medical care because I think he did get injured, or at least he's lying in bed. He was asleep at the time. Yeah, actually, he came off as very injured. More students are suiciding in the class to avoid dying to the guy's attack because medical science can do nothing to save them. The metal is completely undetectable up till it activates. They can't do anything to save the kids. So the high school students are killing themselves not to die to it. And Godai, it's weighing on him. It's bothering him. He won't talk to anyone about it though. He doesn't want to take their smile. So he bears it all himself. And then he sees the goon in the room with the guy he's protecting. The cops have been drawn away by the guy teleporting around. Like he'll be going down this corridor, then they'll see him going down another. But he's just there at the guy's door now. And they're running around elsewhere. Godai sees him and runs at him, transforming as he goes. Next, the camera's outside the window. He tackles the goon through the window. And he's pissed. They both hit the ground and Godai just starts beating the shit out of him, wailing on his face while he's like straddling the goon. The guy's able to, with a struggle, get away from him. But Godai, and like the grungy of the week, is cowering in fear of Godai. And also, he did actually make it clear that he enjoyed the tormenting the people. He got, he didn't say got off on it, but he derived great pleasure from seeing their torment. But the guy's terrified of Kuga. Kuga doesn't give up. He keeps wailing on him. All the while, his bike is transforming. He got a bike off the police, but the previous Kuga had an artifact, this like flying scarab that could latch onto his mount and transform it. And so it latches onto the police bike and transforms it. Makes it better. He tackles the enemy with the bike, drives him off. The guy tries to attack him, but he just gets slapped across the face for it, as far as I remember. And he just... Like I said, Godai is like a puppy. He's just a fucking puppy. And seeing him just get pissed and beat the crap out of a guy is awesome. You'll see the vid going around on Twitter. It's an awesome fucking scene. It's an awesome fucking fight because he's just wailing on the dude and the dude is terrified. He's scared out of his tiny little mind. And, the puppy is baring his teeth and ripping his fucking throat out. But yeah, he tackles the guy with his bike and drives him up to the coast. The guy tries to throw those needles at him, but he's after transforming into Titan form, the purple form. It's for taking hits and not caring, for just marching like the Terminator at your enemy, and then striking them down with a greatsword. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. You gotta fucking watch it. It's beautiful. But yeah, Godai is a happy-go-lucky, caring character. Seeing him hit his breaking point and just break the enemy in front of him is a beautiful thing. Obviously, it's not a good thing for the character and as a person, but as someone watching the show, it's I know it's just beautiful to see just the. I've heard the line, evil runs when the good man goes to war. Yeah, it's basically that. It's a beautiful thing to see. But of the monsters of the week, Grungy, he was the most like anti-Kuga of them all. All of them were anti-Kuga, but some were clean in their kills. They just sniped their enemy and that was it. He was sadistic. He thrived off their misery. That's what puts them as an fully anti-Kuga, opposite Kuga. You know, like they're all opposite him. They all favor their own enjoyment over other people's lives and tormenting them, and enjoy harming them. But he's it's the sadism, the level of sadism there. And I'm still talking. A hero saying like, "Oh yeah, go forward a few minutes." I end up describing the episode and like setting too much. I'm sorry. I start gushing. It took a bit for Kuga to get started, to get into it, but it was a solid fucking show. It was fantastic. It was Shinomori had started work on it, but he passed before the show came out, and I don't know how much he got to see of it, be involved with, Um, remember seeing a comic. It was based off of a conversation the person had heard about Shinomori. He was at a convention, and he's talking with a coworker before a senior had joined the conversation. The two of them had been up 2, 3 nights straight at that point, and they were, presumably wrecked, dead, fucking tired. Meanwhile, that senior, he'd gotten sleep those nights. No matter how busy he is, he made damn sure to get 8 hours sleep that night. The other two, like, are presumably quite jealous of him, but they don't really follow his lead. Apparently, those two, I don't know who the other guy was, but Mishinomori, both of them died earlier than the senior. Um, the senior, apparently, one of his last tweets was about a burger joint he'd gone to the previous day. Someone claimed. Um, he just went into sleep. The other two were wrecked by illness. Sleep is an incredibly important thing. Your body does. It needs sleep to heal and to, keep well. You know, sleepless nights do run you down, weaken you. So, I'm not saying that that's what killed them, but I doubt it helped them. I doubt it's a good, I doubt it's just like, I doubt it's of benefit to them. It's sad. That's all I'm getting at. It's sad. It's a shame. I don't even know what the other guy did work-wise, but it's still sad to see. It's the work ethic. What's even going on here in the vid? Things paused right now. I'm not seeing any movement at all. Don't tell me this vid is frozen, has it? The way I'm playing this, it could very well have frozen. What vid is it? Kenshi 6-0. Oh no, no, it's. Just mute that because you're hearing echoes. No, no, I was just hesitating on that screen for a while. I was probably talking about something. Um, it just, without knowing what I was doing, I thought Resolve had frozen. It's frozen before, and it just like it ends up just like lingering on a screen. And while I'm busy talking, I don't even notice, and then suddenly I'm out of sync. It's certainly a terrible thing when I was doing Cyberpunk, and I had to actually care about that. Here I don't, but if something turns up that I was interested, I was able to comment on, then oh, I'm baiting bandits apparently. I think what I was doing here was hoping to get bounties. I bait bandits in, then I grab whoever's considered a criminal, and I can turn them in for a bounty. If I can beat the guards too. Issue is, it does take a while for it to be them to speak, for them to have a rap, you know. I'm also able to loot the dead or downed for a bit of cash, thanks to that. Whatever add-on gives you the gives people money in their inventory. Here, 1 second, just muting the mic again for a moment. It's just easier than doing anything else, because it's always possible for things to end up out of sync or whatnot doing that. So the less I do it, the better. And we're back. So, I'm not. I had to look away for a mo. Not sure if I succeed in turning in any bounties, but I am looting, getting some looting done. Sadly, I can't use any of the gear because it's all faction shite, but that was always very annoying. Like, it's just like, look, it's generic gear. How can this be anyway faction related? Tired. I'll probably stop soon and leave it here for this set. So, what was I even talking about? I was talking about Kuga. Oh yeah, I was saying about how it was nice seeing the puppy bury his teeth. Oh god, the ragdolling, that's beautiful. I hope they don't change that in Kenshi too. I hope that's still fucking there. That better be goddamn there. But anyway, yeah, I was talking about Kuga. It was just like, it was great in that one episode of it, the puppy baring his teeth. You know? Striking righteous fear in the goon, you know? Great, great goddamn episode. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Another one you could check out if you want something more actiony would be at least the first episode of Amazons. The Grimdark remake. There's Amazon, then Amazons. The Amazons is on Prime, or at least used to be. Do season 2 was weaker. They had some like weird like romance thing to it, and the writing was just generally weaker. If you can ignore those bits, which take like the dude's, it's still a bit of an ensemble cast, but he's like 1/3 of it. So he does get a fair bit of damn screen time. So it's kind of hard to ignore him, but yeah. Basically, his bit is the weakest bit. Everyone else is grand. There's one guy in Amazons, and he's fucking awesome. There isn't a writer in Amazons. There's two people that have basically the idea behind Amazons is, this is probably spoilers for the first few episodes. Basically, this company developed new things called Amazon cells, and the beings they made through these cells got out. These beings feed on humans. Their body is constantly demanding protein, human protein, and so the ones that get out are feeding on people. They do have one on their team, but the guy's innocent. He's a puppy they just feed him cheeseburgers, and he's happy. But then there's these two other guys that do fit the role of rider of the season. They have a normal rider transformation, and they get the belt and everything. While the other guy was just a monster, just a monster of the week kind of transformation. There's one guy Jin. It's Jin and Haruka. Haruka. I'm not sure, but they're the two riders of the season. Jin is this really arrogant guy. He's got this swagger. It's charming. He's a self-arrogant prick. He sells it well enough to be charming. So many don't, and they just come off as I want to reach through the screen and shoot the character. But he's charming about it. He's got the swagger. How can I talk about this stuff without being spoilery? Oh yes, this is what I was getting at. One of the characters in it, he's not Jin or Haruka. He's part of the extermination crew. Remember I was saying that they had one guy that had monster transformation. They fed him cheeseburgers. Yeah, there's a crew. There's a team. And the company behind all this, just call that kid M. But everyone on the team calls him Bamuro, or they gave him a name and insist upon calling him it. They refuse to see him as just a monster and whatnot. He's part of the team. They sleep in the same room as the dude. While they're hunting his kin, in a sense, they see him as part of the team, and he certainly sees himself as part of the team. He's there because he sold them as friends. It's camaraderie he's there for. So, it's no issue to him. He doesn't see the others as his kin. They're targets, I guess. I'm not sure quite how he sees them. But one of the guys in the extermination crew is awesome. They're all fine characters. But one of the guys in the extermination crew is fucking awesome. Glasses. The guy in the glasses. Man, a few words. He's fucking awesome. There's this one thing, they end up... Some of the monsters they fight are nods to the original series. The first enemy they fight is a spider goon. The first guy Hongo fights is a spider goon. It's the same with Kuga. They, as a nod to the original series, have them fight a similar teamed monster. In another goon they fight is an ant-teamed one, which I do believe a writer after Hongo, but long before this one, did an ant-teamed one. But basically the idea with Hongo, the second goon he fights is a bat-teamed guy that bites people and mind controls them. giving them these shitty like fangs in their mouth, and they are like his mind-controlled slaves. In Amazons, instead of it being a bat, it was an ant, and like ant queen taking over people, turning them into monster minions. I think there was another writer that did have a similar thing with like a bat monster taking over an apartment block, but I think they may have changed it from a bat possibly to an ant. Like they've already hit that note before. I'm not sure. But the guy ends up getting attacked, and this is spoilers for Amazons, but it's either this or another scene. Or I may say both, because it's fucking awesome. The guy's so cool. He ends up getting attacked by the goons, and he's like, oh, there's the cue. I need to do what I need to, I stayed here for. So he pushes one of them off him. They tackled him on the staircase and started feeding on him. He pushes one off, and then he shoots the sprinkler system, not directly above him, but on the floor above it with his shock pistol. And he just fires one shot and just snipes it. Later on, he gets attacked by... earlier, before this, I think, he gets attacked by one of the goons. It's a spider monster, and it had these like pincer hands or something. And it's like working his insides. But it tries to get away, or someone else tries to get away. I can't remember what happens, but he has to give chase. He gets into the van, trying to drive. He's bleeding out. One hand out the window with a gun, trying to shoot them. And it's just like, they've got a fucking, like, demi-action hero here. He's not quite, Jean-Claude Van Damme or, like, Rambo, but, I don't care. I'm here to watch this guy. I don't care about the writers of the season. I'm here for him. Like, the others were fine, but this guy's fucking awesome. This guy, he's why I want to watch it. I saw season 1 and season 2, but the movie never came to Prime here, so I haven't seen it. I did see a picture for it on IMDb, and I think there may have been a few pictures. Actually, I think there was literally one picture, and it was of glasses. It was him. And it was just like, yeah, he deserves it. Season 2 is a lot weaker, but Glasses still turns up in it. He's still there, and he still gets great scenes. So, and Haruka and Jin aren't bad characters. I like them. But it's just... And, like, especially Jin, he's this smug prick. He's charming about it. Haruka's fine. He's a guy trying to find his way in a world. He's trying to find his way in the world and coming to terms with things. Jin is this... I don't want to say anything more, but it's too spoilery so far. But, I don't know, just Glasses, he's just this guy who's taken this job for the money. He's just there because he needs the money for something, and it's just a job to him. He's not this hero, he's not a writer, he's just a guy with a gun and some glasses. And here he is pulling off like action hero shit. He's fucking awesome. He's why I watch the series, he's why I want to go see the movie. Beyond finishing the trilogy, he's why I want to see the movie. He's a big part of it. We nearly have an hour left. Nearly. Wasn't as painful recording it. It's only more painful doing this. And this isn't the last time I have to do this. I have some Monster Hunter Rise footage that got botched, alongside that Cyberpunk stuff. It's mid-Cyberpunk, it was mid-Monster Hunter stuff that I realised the mic was botched. So, I have to do most of the set of it. But at the very least, in that case, I have audio to bounce off of. Here, I only had the game audio. There, I have my own audio. It's just not in a deliverable quality. If I was that, I ended up using my headset mic that was aimed up. So, I'll be very distant and quiet. And if I'm tired up, then you'll hear whoosh, probably insert my own commentary. I'll do it the same way as I did the Cyberpunk thing. But anyway, it's gone 3 in the morning now. I think I should call this quits. I think I should. I'm sorry, I just basically made this the Kamen Rider episode. I hope you enjoyed this. Seriously, check out, if you can, check the series out. It's fun. Certainly, I will say this. The series is, in a lot of cases, rather budget. That's part of the charm. It's like, look at it like Doctor Who, Part of the charm is the budget of it, That's part of the charm of it. And certainly it can come off as very cheesy or very campy, but again, that's part of the charm of it. If you want to watch the show and actually enjoy it, you have to embrace it. And something I found that does help, that's kind of kept me going in watching it, is this one thing. Have someone to watch it with. That's the fun of it. I watch it with Mom. We sit down and, we watch some episodes of Kamen Rider. And, it's a good time. We have a laugh and a joke about it. Like, I remember Stronger, he stops to help out this mother and daughter, but it turns out they're mind controlled. And they're trying to attack him, and he's like, I think he apologizes up front, but they don't always do so. And he just punches them both in the gut, and he catches them, or they just fall over. And it's like, he starts shouting out and made us watching. He's like, no, Stronger, don't use the womb cripple on her. She's just a child. And, it's funny, it's a joke. And we keep going, and we talk about the episode, and it's like, oh, he was so cool there, and like, oh, he's such a smug prick, I love him. Because, Stronger is a really arrogant guy. Like, he's like there, someone's under attack, and he's just starts whistling off to one side. And there's like, oh, what's that? Or he comes in and just starts smacking the goons or the monster of the week with his fucking jacket. It's like denim jacket, he just smacks him across the face. In the second episode, the goons were, the cultist goons of Shocker were like watching an estate. Watching a lighthouse. And he just pushes between the two of them, struts up, looks at the lighthouse, and is like, turns back and looks at them, and then starts fighting them. He may have said something to them, but then they start fighting. It's beautiful, it's funny. He's just such a smug prick. I can't help but love him. Like, Stronger finds out the enemy base is where it is, struts in, pretends to be an evil prick, gets upgraded by them, but they try to mind control him, except they didn't notice a device he had that prevented the mind control. And then he starts trashing the place, rescues Electro-Human Wave Tackle, and they leave. He struts into the enemy's base demanding an upgrade, they give it to him, and then he turns on them. Like, they operated on him. They turned him into a cyborg. When he takes his glove off, you just see this, like, silver metal hand underneath. They've cut him apart and attached new bits to him, and he's unconscious for it all. This is the level of arrogance Stronger works on. He's beautiful. But yeah, I find it great. Like, me and Mom have watched the show separately at times. Like, we just didn't watch it together that day. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the circumstances. Just like stuff came up. We just like, here, I'll watch it upstairs. You watch it downstairs, and it just wasn't the same. My mind is blanking here because I'm just like, I can't even remember like why we didn't watch it together those days. But it just, something came up or whatnot, and it's just like, fuck it. We'll watch it together another day, but we'll watch an episode there today now. And it's just not the same. It's just not the same in the slightest. Here, 1 sec. 5, 4, 3, 2, one. So, um, maybe I should have done that. Yeah, it's too late now. Part of me was thinking what I should have done there was, before I started again, cut it, put a little slice on it, and then start from that point. I have the little overhang of black screen. Whatever. But, yeah, some days we'll just end up watching the show in a different room. I'll be up in my room, Mom will be in the sitting room, and we'll have dinner separately, and we'll watch the show. But it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't have the same energy. It wouldn't have the same something to it. This is hard whiskey. Ugh. I've had some whiskeys before, and there's a little burn to it, but it's flavorful, it's nice, and this just seems 90% burn. Maybe I'm just not used to alcohol. I haven't really drank in probably a year more. Don't really drink much. I had a bottle there sitting in the larder for certainly a couple of months, if not longer. And this isn't even that bottle. And I ended up giving that one to Mom. It helps with the toothache, and I was like, who knows when I'll drink it. So then months later, when I was picking up another bottle for, I grabbed one for myself. But anyway, what am I talking about? Oh yeah, the show wouldn't be the same. When we watch it in separate rooms, it just wouldn't be the same. It would just feel so much more hollow. It just wouldn't feel as good. So, having someone to shoot the shit with while you watch the show is almost necessary. Like you watch the show, you pay attention to it, certainly. You're not ignoring it to have a chat with each other. But you kind of bounce off each other with it. Like I said before, when stronger punches the mother and daughter in the gut, and he's like, no, not the womb crippler. She's just a child stronger. We're watching the show, we're enjoying it. It just, can't refrain from, making a joke at its expense. I do appreciate Kamen Rider. Some shows and people are very squeamish about and bad, like violence-wise happening to women and whatnot. The Kamen Rider does not care. It does not care. Like, there was this one controversy recently about someone being like, it's disgusting. You can kill female enemies in Star Sector, or Starfield. You shouldn't be allowed to harm women. It's disgusting. And it's just like, what about all the men you kill? It's terrible you kill women in it. And it's just like, okay, alright. It's gross. How dare you harm a woman? Like, she's only trying to murder you and, pillage. How dare you harm her? And so it's like, yeah, fuck off. Like, if you're personally squeamish about it for whatever reason, fine. I don't really give a shit. But it's just like, a hostile's a hostile. They can catch a boat either way, And that extends to, like, real life. If a woman's trying to hurt me, oh, woman's trying to hurt me. Someone's trying to hurt me. I don't give a shit. It's no different than if a man's attacking me. And before anyone takes issue, that's literally how Mum raised me. You know, if anyone lays their hand on me, I have her express encouragement to, you know, return the favor. And let's be fair here, it's either that or she'll hit them with her car. So, if it's just me, they're making out like a bandit. Though that's not to say she still won't hit them with her car afterwards, but that's another point entirely. Yeah, I think this is like matured into just pure alcohol. It's just like no... There's very little flavor to it. Ugh. It's been open for a little bit. It's just like... Sweet malty finish. Yeah, it's fucking hand sanitizer, man. Ugh. But yeah, no, that's... I'm a proponent of true gender equality. I'll dropkick a woman just as soon as I'll dropkick a man. Like, I really don't get this weird thing people have. Like, oh, yeah, she was trying to kill you, but as a man, that knife will just glance entirely off your skin. And so it's like, no, it doesn't fucking work like that. You utter genetic reject. But, yeah, no. I'm a big proponent of self-defense. Big proponent of self-defense. As someone who's disabled, I kind of... Well, as someone with, you know, common sense, I kind of have to be. But I am disabled, so I kind of have to, you know, it's all the more important to me. If you're curious, you know, what's wrong with me, that's a fair question. I can't fault the curiosity. If anyone says that out of the blue, you would, of course, you'd be curious. I remember doing out a list before. Sadly, memory loss is on that list, so I've kind of forgotten a few of the ailments. If something's not actively bothering me that moment, I do forget about it. On a lesser scale, I remember when I was in school, every day I would get Vegemite sandwiches for lunch, and I was so fucking tired years in of it. But I would keep forgetting to be like, hey, Mom, could I have something else? Because she would have done a different breakfast for me, a different lunch for me. And it's like for a few months, I got bagels at the shop down from my school. But for ages, I would forget about, you know, asking for something else. Because while being annoyed in school at the time, once lunch was over, I'd forget about it. And then it would happen again the next day and the next day. You know, it's just, you know, that's just how I am. But, and then you extrapolate it on to bigger issues, and that's how I am. It's just like, oh yeah, that was an issue, wasn't it? Damn, should have talked about that to the doctor. You know, basically what I'm saying is my arm's hanging off, but I managed to forget about it. I could go to the doctor and never bring it up. So, yeah, that's who I am. But, yeah, a number of the ailments have disappeared. I've forgotten about them. Might remember them if I think hard enough about it, but they can stay gone. The ones that are the right issue, the real issue right now. I have osteoarthritis and fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia nukes the nervous system, was it? Or was it the muscular? Like, your muscles. Or was it both? I think it was both. It's a degenerative condition. It'll get worse as you get older, and it fucks with my nervous system. And all that stuff. Osteoarthritis is, you know, a type of arthritis. So, if you put your hand on my shoulder, maybe a little weight to it, and I rotate my arm, good chance of you can feel the bones grinding. My bones also pop a lot, crack. Sometimes when I go to bend, my hip pops out of position. It has to pop into position back into position before I can. It's not a painful experience, but it's uncomfortable. Once I was like stretching my fingers, and I was just like absentmindedly like I pulled on my hand, or I was like pressing my hand against the other hand or something. I can't remember what I was doing, but I ended up accidentally pulling the finger out of the socket slightly. I could actually feel a slight tug, and when I pushed it back in, I could actually feel it go back in. No pain, but yeah, I could feel it move in the socket. Also, woo woo, 50 minutes left. So yeah, fun. So yeah, I've got a variety of issues. Some degree of memory loss being one of them, or just me being absent-minded. But it's osteoarthritis and fibromyalgia. So yeah, fun. Sorry, I'm a little altered now because I've consumed a bit of this hand sanitizer that refers to itself as Irish whiskey. Triple distilled right through this bottle of puritizer, apparently. I'd love to stay here and finish this thing and just be done with it, rather than having to do this again, but it is what it is. Say lovey. And I'm sure you're not particularly happy that you didn't get much Kenshi commentary, but I'll be honest. Like I said, there's no. I feel really disassociated from what's happening on the screen. I can't. It feels like I can't follow what's happening on the screen. It just feels weird. My mind just isn't clicking into it, and I wouldn't know how to do nearly 6 hours of it, over 5, nearly 6. So treating it as a podcast and just talking about whatever is the best I can do. Once this is over with, which is probably going to be one more episode, then we'll be back to normal programming. And as soon as we're back to normal programming, then I can get back to actually getting these out on a regular basis. Because I can just slice, after I check through the footage. I think this was the worst of the last worst. There's worse sessions of Kenshi before this, but I think this is the last hump in it. Okay. RTS. I'm dreading and looking forward to, in equal measure, an upcoming series. It's a bit off, probably a few months off the release of this, but it'll be a fun series. There's a bit of editing I need to do. There's a bit of shit I talked about that I'm not happy with. I went on a few tangents talking about stuff external to the series and that I'm not really happy with anymore. I was talking about stuff I was like bored. I was looking at my phone and I was like, oh, people are talking about this, and it's just like, yeah, that's a shit cunt move, ain't it? And it's just like, maybe that's not true. Maybe they're bullshitting there. If it's true, then I think I'd rather stand by what I said, but I don't know if it is true or not, so I'm not happy with it. Similar thing going on in MMO stuff. I'd heard tales online about things, and I was just taking them at face value. It's just like, if this is how it is, you know. Well, I never said that. I may feel a bit better about it if I had. But, you know. Oh, mine's blanking. But yeah, in the MMO vids, I said something, you know, I'd seen stuff online about a particular thing, and I was just like, yeah, this is shit. Like, ugh. You know, I had an image of a place that very much wasn't like that, basically. And it very much was. So I was just like annoyed about it. So, but now I'm like, oh, maybe that's not true. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I'm not sure I'm happy with how I went about saying it. So it's just like, now I'm worried about not finding it all to remove it. Similar thing with the upcoming series here. The upcoming series here is season 2 of Rimworld modded. I did season 1 years and years ago, and I think I started seeing vids or something, but I got on a major push of doing RimWorld. And so I came back and did a new RimWorld modded series. In the span of a month ish, I did over a year of footage, presuming each episode is half an hour in length. Obviously, even if I was to be relatively strict about that, when a session ends, it won't be on a 30-minute thing. It'll be, well, like the last episode of the session won't be a strict 30 minutes. It will be, if there's 40 minutes left in that session, the episode will be 40 minutes long. So, you know, if when I make the 30-minute cut of an episode, what remains of the session will be enough for at least 30 minutes, then I'll just add it together. So, yeah. I was going to phrase that two different ways, but I was like, no, it's the same either way, isn't it? Like, the way I was thinking was safe, I was going to be go 39, 40, and no. The hand sanitizer here, it's the Irish whiskey. It's idling my thought process. Fuck. I'm like thinking like, no, that's a difference thing. That there's a difference there. Then the moment I start talking, it's like, no, there really isn't, is there? Ha. But anyway, basically what, yeah, if I like slice up the session, here's episode 38, 39, I go to 40 and it's 15 minutes left. Then I add it on to 39 and I leave it there. But if I slice up 40 and there's 15 minutes left afterwards, I just attach it to 40. It's the same either way. So, like I said, this is adding my thought processes here. It's, like, it just tastes like just hand sanitizer. Like, Jesus. The last bottle I had was better. And I swear when I had this previously, it was better. I think leaving it open there for a bit kind of killed it. I thought it would fare better. But anyway, so yeah, the session wouldn't work out at, a strict 30 minutes. Like, each episode will run on as long as I feel it needs to. Like, 30 minutes is the goal, but they'll run on as long as I feel they need to. Beyond that, when it comes to the end of a session, that episode will be as long as that end of the session is. Yeah. If I can make a 30-minute episode there and there's 5 minutes left over, then I just graft that 5 minutes onto it. I keep falling into that weird, there's a difference here, but there isn't thing. But yeah, if I'm making an episode there and there's a bit of time left over at the end and not nearly enough to make an episode, I just grafted onto the previous episode, and here's a 40-minute episode. Here's I was going to say here's an hour, but then I could have made them two separate episodes. But not necessarily. The other one could have run on for 40 minutes, because of just whatever was going on in it. So I'm just like, here, have an hour, So, yeah, even if I was to be strict about the 30-minute thing, that alone would ruin the idea of it. And I was hardly graft the last 15 minutes of a session onto the next 15 minutes of the next session. Because it just, most of that would be intro and shit, and most of the other bit would be send off and stuff. So it wouldn't flow right. It wouldn't work right. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to hit the sack now. This whiskey's, I haven't drank much, but it just, I'm not very much of a drinker, honestly. For a while there, I could actually tell you every drink I had. I've since lost track, but most of that's down to me just forgetting. Not because I've drank so much, just simply not remembering. Like I said, there is a measure of memory loss here. I'm actually quite without my recollection and memory, but there is some memory loss going on. There is some holes here. It's annoying. I can't remember, here's what I need to do today, here's shopping, here's whatever. I can't remember. For the last while, I've been like, oh yes, I need to wash that jacket. I keep forgetting. I've had to go out multiple times without a hoodie because I forgot to throw them in the washer. I might throw something else in, but I'll just keep walking past that. But I can't remember what I need to do in the present. But I can remember a conversation I had with my friend back when I was in secondary school, or not long out of it. And that was over 10 years ago. I started a channel when I left. So, yeah. I started this. This was actually once my personal channel. When I left secondary school, I turned it into my YouTube channel. And I turned it into my YouTube channel. And I can remember a conversation from around this same time I had with a friend. It was nothing significant. Nothing at all. Like, we talked about music. We had a little conversation about a song. Like, I remembered in more detail, but I'm not sure how much I should say. It's not like I asked his permission. We talked about a song. We talked about a few different minutiae. I can remember pretty damn clearly. I remember where we were sitting, in what restaurant, and the little bit of talk we had. And I can remember that perfectly fine. But I can't remember the shit I have to do now. Like, I'm sure there's something I've forgotten that I should have done. Even today. How if I remember? Actually, there was. I was paranoid I'd bumped off something and dirtied it earlier. And I entirely forgot about wiping it down. Entirely. Remembered for like all 5 minutes earlier and then forgot again. So, yeah. I'm just very fucking absent-minded. I need to get back to writing. I think it'll be good, actually, to get a thing out there, you know? Though I'm imagining I'm going to have a hell of a time actually getting it published. I've been hearing horror stories about the publishing field. There's one thing going around of an alleged legit publisher. They like, oh, I love Gundam, but I want stories like it. But they hate war drama. Or military fiction. I've seen people complaining they aren't publishers, but I've seen people spazzing out about like, oh, how dare you kill bandits in a story? Why aren't you giving up with the economic policies that led them to becoming bandits? And like, this person became a bandit because when she joined the military, she didn't get to pillage enough for her liking. She thought she was going to get to pillage a lot more. Her and a couple other goons split off because they didn't get that. There was no economic policies involved. And one of my guys has a very foul mouth. He says things that aren't very PC. Because, he's been through shit. He's not really caring. It fits the character. It's not just him trying to be edgy or something. It just... I don't know. It just makes sense. He's like this embittered guy that's seen terrible shit. He's not gonna be the most civil of tongue. Two different stories I'm bouncing between here. I have two different stories that I'm working on mentally. One I've actually done writing for. Well, actually, I've done a bit of writing for both of them, but one more than the other. I am Irishman, hear me roar. God, this is still loading. Kenshi. Modded. So, yeah, session 4. Session 3 was pretty bad. Session 2 was the worst. It went like 13 past Z. So session 2, 2A, 2B, 2Z. Well, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, all the way down to Z. And then like 12 or 13 beyond. Here I can just highlight it. So 38 in total sections for session 2. I'm still waiting for this to load. My PC's weird. It's very slow about loading the C drive, but anything on the external hard drives, it's pretty quick about loading. And the C drive is my SSD. It's really weird. It's nice having a fucking beak thing as a pet. It's so strong. It does require a lot of food, though. That's the thing, and I probably got it too soon, in all honesty. Oh, God. I can't see the River Raptors or anything but just basically a burger. Which, I'm starting to actually take him on. I very well could do, but I always take great caution, because people losing limbs is a pain in the ass. They can be replaced, but it's expensive. In this game, I need to do a lot more drug running. When I next come back to do more, like I know I've started a thing a little while back, I need to set up a base and start growing, drugs. Simply put, I need to start growing drugs in Kenshi. Doing a bit of drug running has been profitable, but I saw a vid talking about a profitable place and a good place to build a base, because you could exploit a bit of the terrain, basically. You know, there's the desert area with like there's oases. Build your base with the entrance and the banks of one of the oases with the walls around it, so they have to go through the oasis to get to it. Then set up harpoon guns and station people on them, and they will cut the ribbons before they can get close. Swimming will slow them down. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. God. Basically 32 minutes left. 32 and 5 seconds. 32 minutes. Anyway, I probably should have ended this here and finish off the last set tomorrow. This is a pain in the bloody ass. There we go. So, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you join me again soon. If there's anything at all you'd like to tell me, anything at all, I do hope you do so. That's what the comment section down below is for, after all. That's what it's for. So, please let me know whatever you want to tell me in the comment section below. And I'll be sure to reply to it, if I can, though I may not be prompt about it. I do want to reply to like every comment, but sometimes I'm just weirdly slow. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get back to that, and I just drag my ass. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed these videos, even though they're a bit odd. I hope you've enjoyed them. Leave a like if you do, leave a dislike if you haven't. Leave a comment, subscribe. No, share them. Yeah, it's all up to you. Just be sure to share them appropriately. If it says like, sure, share videos here, but nothing over 18. So yeah, it probably best not to share my vids. Probably best not to share them. I swear like a sailor. Despite being a filthy, filthy landlubber, I swear like a sailor. And yeah, like here I made crack about like I was saying, some people were really squeamish about like even fictional women getting hurt. Me saying here and days like, oh yeah, if a woman tries to hit me, yeah, I'm returning the favor. You know, if someone like that has a Discord, yeah, probably best not to share it there, even if they're open to Kenshi vids being shared. Probably best not to. So just some like read the room basically if you're gonna share something. So anyway, I'm a bit blitero right now. I'm exaggerating. I'm not that bad, but I'm. Look, I've. This whiskey's gone weird. It feels like I'm after drinking hand sanitizer. I'm gonna go try and sleep it off. Maybe I just haven't had enough water today. Could be that. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you join me again soon. If there's anything at all you'd like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section below. That's what it's there for. But until then, love and peace, baby.